This is the recipe for my favorite dessert. And we're gonna divide it into two phases. One is the hot phase, one is the cold phase, because it incorporates gelatin, and gelatin needs to be heated before it can cool and thereby create its famous protein structure that makes it like jello. Because jello is actually gelatin, that's where the name comes from. In both phases, we want to add about 200 to 250 milliliters of coconut milk. And this is for the cold phase. This is 200 milliliters each. I use the Hengguan coconut milk. The important thing about the coconut milk is it's from a Tetra Pak. It only consists of coconut, water, and xanthan gum. You can also use guar gum if you want. There are some brands that don't have either, but they will separate pretty quickly and that can be a problem. So if you're sensitive, choose a brand that's completely clean. Now we're gonna add the gelatin. This is Great Lakes gelatin. We use it because it's grass-fed. That means we don't have any glyphosate in there, which is very important because glyphosate is actually incorporated into cells exactly where you would expect the gelatin to be. So if you were to use normal store brand gelatin, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a high glyphosate contamination in there. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon each of lakanto and erythritol. You can also use just one of those brands. I just like to combine them because it's more tasty and more economical. I have some vanilla beans in my erythritol to give it a little more flavor. So now we add the erythritol. That looks good. That's gonna be our hot phase. Our cold phase is gonna get some, you guessed it, butter. As always. I don't know, it's maybe about 60 grams or something. It's not really that important. Then the cold phase is gonna get some powdered vanilla bean. Maybe quarter, half a teaspoon. You can do more if you have more vanilla. And last but not least, we're gonna add some shredded coconut to the cold phase. Yeah, maybe that much. So you get a little heap in there. And that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna heat up the hot phase and blend the cold phase. So we empty all of the hot phase into a pot and we just bring it to a light boil, not too long, just to get it warmed up. Afterwards we add it to the blended cold phase. We're gonna blend it now on the lowest setting just to incorporate it just a little bit. Give it a little bit on the high phase. That's fine, we don't want to do it too long because you will separate the coconut milk. If you blend too much and it does separate, just do a second hot phase and add that again. It will emulsify it. So our hot phase is beginning to warm up. We get a little bit of steam. We can give it a couple more seconds, and while we do that, we'll add a little squirt of MCT oil to the blender. Maybe like that. Just a little bit, a couple more seconds. We have some frozen berries here. Okay, that's the sign. When it starts to foam up, it's done. Definitely done. And now we add the hot phase to the cold phase. Now that we warmed up the gelatin once, it will rebuild its structure once it cools down. So we don't have to blend this very much. That's enough. And now we add it to our bowl. In about half an hour, this will be solid. Close it up. You can put it in the fridge, but that's gonna be about 2 hours. You put it in the freezer, it's about 30 minutes. And that's our final product. The Panna Cotta is ready after about 2 hours in the fridge, but you can do it in 30 minutes in the freezer.